You just be here or
Yeah, yesterday, yeah, so yeah, evening, I just survived.
wow. Collaboration with me?
Yes, and actually, this afternoon we have something with the University of Indonesia. And our university, so he and we go to the university there. I mean, when she came to Korea,
Oh,
she sent me email that, you have some seminars.
Yeah.
So she invited me online, but but anyway, I go to that conference, so that's why. Tomorrow I have to go back.
oh,
Yeah.
online training here? Dan seminar here?
Seminar and in the afternoon, we have the University of Indonesia. Yeah, University of Indonesia, we have something with them. That's why this is your first time. Really first time, but since 1992. Oh, from the time.
Hindi lang YouTube.
Yeah, so from the, I don't know how many times. How many times? Yeah. Last October, I think, it's last year. In Indonesia, we have the 50-year anniversary of.
Memang nggak ada ya waktu kita di Yoga. Yang suka
Belum. Yeah, last October. Although even Jakarta, you remember, ASEAN Center. Oh, yeah, your country is ASEAN. You are all. Yeah. I actually and late last year, I think we went inside as a senior advisor to your while came to that now he can see it's like Indian people. Oh, he's a very cooperative. He is. Yeah.
Coba, enggak aku nyalain, kedengeran nggak? Tapi kok nggak biru ya? Harusnya biru kan? Tapi nggak, bentuknya dites coba. Jadi kamu itu ada suaranya Pak? Nggak ada. Iya. Oh ini nih. Iya benar. Kemarin boleh nggak? Cuma satu. Takutnya ada yang cabut aja. Kalau cuma satu berarti ininya pilih mikrofonnya. Oh ini.
Essentially, your body form.
Oh, balik kau tu ya. Okay.
Anyway, he become that.
New ambassador.
Do you have ambassador ID? I met him. Good. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin the event in a minute. Before we begin our event, we will be raising and sing our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. All rise.
Sana to. Man.
Thank you. You may have your seat. The Honorable Head of Social Science and Humanities Research Organization, National Research and Innovation Body, BRIN, the Honorable Head of Law Research Center, and today's panelists, and also distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning and best wishes to all of us. On behalf of the organizer, I, Mega Margita, who will be the master of ceremony for today, would like to extend a warm welcome and express our gratitude for participating in Korea Foundation Dissemination Seminar, Climate Change Law and Policy, Comparative Study between Korea and Indonesia in Achieving Green Energy Transition and Low Carbon Development, Jakarta, Friday, February 2nd, 2024. Today's event will explore about policy legislation and challenges of implementation in Indonesia and South Korea, and to find lessons learned for better energy transition trajectory in the future. And now, to proceed our agenda, I would like to invite Head of Social Science and Humanities Research Organization, National Research and Innovation Body, BRIN, to deliver his opening remarks. Professor Najib Burhani, Commissioners.
Thank you very much, Mbak Meka.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. First of all, I would like to welcome you to BRIN campus in Jalan Gatot Subroto, and also welcome you, perhaps Dr. Tai Yong Chun to Indonesia again. He said it already several times, countless. And then the second, I think I would like to thank the speakers, Dr. Agus Puji dari Dewan Energi Nasional, and then Dr. Tai Yong Chung. Am I correct pronouncing your name?
You just call me Ted.
Okay, from Yonsei University, from Seoul, South Korea, and then Pak Max Sensius Trisambodo, our colleagues from BRIN, from research organization. Apa mas namanya bahasa Inggrisnya?
Circular economy.
Okay.
Behavior.
Behavior and Circular Economy Research Center, and Dr. Laili Nur Hidayah, Head of Research Center for Law under the Institute of Social Sciences and Humanities, and Mbak Jenuk Sayekti,
Yes.
Sayekti, right? From Erlangga University, from Erlangga University. I think days a few weeks ago, she participated in reviewing proposal in our proposal and our call for research collaboration at the Institute of Social Sciences and Humanities. And also today, I think I would like to thank for the organizing this, what you call it, like a conference or workshop, right? On climate change law and policy, cooperative study between Korea and Indonesia in achieving green energy transition and low carbon development. I think it's already done, right, the research? And thanks for conducting this very important issue. I think last year, Mbak Lely and team also published, I think, related issue, right, on environmental governance in Indonesia. It was published by Springer and involved several researchers from BRIN and also from other institutions in Indonesia. And also Pak Max actually earlier already published a book. What is the title, Pak Max? Electricity Access and Community Welfare in Indonesia, right? It's also connected to the issue of, I think, climate change and law and policy and something like that. So, this year we are also collaborating actually with Pak Max with ISIS Yusof Ishak Institute, organizing a conference on the issue of climate change and something. I forgot the long title of the conference, but it will be conducted in Singapore in, as usual, in August, usually in the and the sandwich between Indonesian Independent National Day and Singapore National Day. So we will have a conference there that hopefully will come out as the output of that conference. Hopefully will be also a book that will jointly published by BRIN and also ISIS. This year we just published a book from the conference, from the workshop that we work together with ISIS on Indonesian millennial disruptions. I forgot the title. It's like how the millennials shape the future of the nation or something like that, right? And then last year we published also together with ISIS, Indonesian Road to Nusantara, prospect, opportunities and challenges or something like that. And hopefully this workshop will also, we have a kind of similar output, right? A knowledge production from our activities, from the issue that we did the research, because the issue is, I think, very important, very timely, and also it was debated during the vice presidential debate last week or last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago. So the issue of the environment, the issue of climate change, the issue of or related to the topic that we are discussing right now was the main topic of what you call it, vice presidential debate before the election in 14 February, right? Hopefully our research, and also beside the work that we are working with IC, this year we are also working with Wageningen University on the issue of climate change. Well, this is part of the living labs or something like that, but the issue of climate is very important and also very much needed. I mean, the result of our research. That's why I really appreciate the activities of and also the collaboration and also between Korea Foundation and the National Research and Innovation Agency. I thank you all for coming here, not only the speakers and also the organizer, also moderator, but also all participants that jointly participating in this workshop. Hopefully, we will have further perspectives, further knowledge, further information, and also a good quality of research that we can share together from this. How many months, Mbak Lely, conducting this research?
1 year.
For 1 year, and hopefully, I think several people already tried to apply again for Korea Foundation for this year, right? This year or next year?
I think this year.
Yeah.
I don't know who's.
Hopefully, they are also successful in getting funding from Korea Foundation and also collaborating. So the idea of collaborating like this one, like with the Yonsei University, besides to strengthen the network, also to strengthen the output of our research. So thank you very much for the collaboration, also for all participants for joining this morning workshop. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you very much, Professor Najib Burhani, for those insightful words. Now we move on to the heart of our event, the panel discussion. Our esteemed panelists today are Dr. Laili Nur Hidayah from BRIN, and then we have Professor Tae Yong Jun, sorry if I'm mistaken, from Yonsei University, and then we have Maxensius Trisambodo, PhD from BRIN, and Dr. Insinyur Agus Puji Prasetyono, M.Eng IPU ASEAN from National Energy Board. And this discussion will be moderated by Cenu Widya Strisna Sayekti, PhD from Erlangga University. To present this event, I would like to invite Ibu Cenu to take over the event. Ibu Cenu, time is yours.
Thank you. I will be really fast because our time is really strict because this is Friday and, and we only have 1 hour and a half.
Until 12, right?
Until 12. Okay, 12.
I mean, the Friday prayer is 12 and 10.
Oh, okay. So I forgot. I must be mistaken because in Surabaya time, the
Yeah, it's
prayer
different. This is
yes, it's
Jakarta.
faster. Well, our first presentation will be presented by Dr. Laili Nur Hidayah. Dr. Laili Nur Hidayah is the head of Law Research Center. It's part of the National Research and Innovation Agency. She will. So Laili will. So Dr. Laili will present his presentation about climate change, law and policy, its comparative study between Korea and Indonesia in achieving green energy transition and low carbon development. So you have a 15 minutes time to present your presentation, and I will give you a clue if you're ready 5 minutes. Okay, so the time is yours, Dr. Laili.
Thank you. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning and thank you for all speakers, especially Professor Yonsei from Professor Thank you for Pak Max and then Pak Puji, Pak Agus Puji, that already also available to become a speaker. So today I would like to present our research finding on climate change law and policy, comparative study between Korea and Indonesia in achieving green energy transition and low carbon development. Our research basically, we do our research in Indonesia and also in Korea. For Indonesia, we did our research in Cirebon. So we explore about how the land in
Dari sini.
coal power plant and its implication for social justice in the local community. And also we did our research in Korea. We conducted our research in probably October, and then we interviewed some of our stakeholders, including NGO, academics, and from the companies. So, as we know that one of the key elements of decarbonization is process of expansion of renewable energy and phase out the fossil fuel. This is the very important in decarbonization process. So Korea and Indonesia actually share similarities and differences trajectory in achieving green energy transition. Both countries actually are the leader in all our expansion. So Indonesia and Korea actually still depend on coal as energy for the electricity.
That one is still the same.
Bisa, next slide. So yeah, both countries are leader in coal power expansion. Indonesia electricity supply is almost 65% depend on coal. While in Korea, electricity generation in Korea is similar, heavily depend on coal, which is over 40% of total generation. So with this similarity, actually, we explore more in this similarity that Indonesia and Korea electricity is mostly the same pattern and structure monopolized by state-owned enterprise, which is Indonesia is PLN and for Korea is KEPCO. So according to our interview with SAFE for our climate, which is NGO, stated that Korea monopolized power market as a key obstacle to phase out coal. So further, the supply of renewable energy has been limited due to the various factors such as complex permitting procedure and arbitrary municipal system regulation and outdated and inflexible power market system, which resulted the high renewable energy costs. So this is similar with Indonesia. Indonesia also the monopolize of electricity by PLN is also hinder the expansion of the renewable energy such as solar panel and etc. However, there's one main difference between two countries, like in Korea, both private sector and this is like with this population has shown almost with the openness for digitalization. We also explore how the policy of Carbon Neutrality Act, which is the important act of Korea, it is mandated that the government should cut its greenhouse gas emission by 2030 by 40%, or more than no more than from 2018 level, consists of several policy measures to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. Like in Indonesia, we targeted to have the net zero emission by 2060, but in Korea in 2050. So the difference are in policy in Korea has included just transition, which is in Indonesia is missing in our legislation. Just transition has been included in Carbon Neutrality Act. This just transition it's defined as mean protecting workers, farmer, small medium-sized business owner in region or industries that may suffer direct or indirect damage in the process of transitioning to the carbon neutrality society, social sharing and burden arising from the transition process, and protecting vulnerable people. So just transition in Indonesia has not yet been translated into domestic law. So based on our interview with the National Human Rights Commission on Korea, stated that the transition is already happening in Korea. For example, that the engineer of fossil fuel-based vehicle are now significantly affected by the changes of electric vehicle (EF), that they now lose the job. So they need significant training to shift their job from the fossil fuel-based vehicle to the other livelihood. So while in Indonesia, the shifting of this transition actually is already happening also. Like we interview some of the local community in Kalimantan, in East Kalimantan. Mostly the industry of coal now is targeting to switch to replace the activities to other business like to the nickel for the beverage industry, and also to the palm oil plantation for the biofuel energy. So with the electric vehicle technology and carbon trading, actually this is the highlight from Korea, that Korea has so much advanced with the electric vehicle technology and carbon trading. South Korea also dominated with the EV market in Asia, including Indonesia, with Hyundai, Kia as leading companies in the sector. And also the Korea has a nationwide emission trading system, which is called CATS, and it's began in 2015. We included 525 business entities, and then this seems to have like a success a major climate policy to reduce greenhouse gas emission in Korea, but Indonesia probably we still in a carbon not yet, or carbon pricing started in Indonesia. So we also highlighting the public participation in climate litigation. We explore that Korea has like advanced in public participation in climate litigation. They have much advanced in mitigation, while Indonesia probably is in adaptation. So, for example, young activities in Korea has sued the government through the Constitutional Court. The young activities in Korea, they argue that the fundamental right, including right to life and the clean environment, have been infringed by the national climate change law, which they say fails to set a specific target to prevent the global temperature from rising. So they say the target of Korea still for the NEC still low compared to the they need for the reduction of emission. While in Indonesia, for example, Indonesia has been brought the case of the NGO on behalf of Party Island inhabitant to sue a Holcim company in Switzerland for causing their island sinking because of the impact of climate change, requested compensation for the damages. So this is like the public participation in climate change litigation. We also explore how is the environmental standard between Korea and Indonesia in establishing this coal power plant. Like actually in Korea, environmental standard is much higher compared to Indonesia. When they conducted development of coal power plant infrastructure, they make it like far away from the communities. But Indonesia is difficult to sit the coal power plant because mostly it's already inhabited by the communities. So it's difficult to there's implication of pollution as a result of this coal power plant for the surrounding environment. However, with the high standard of environmental standard in Korea, but when Korean companies like KEPCO and its subsidiary operated in Indonesia, in overseas, they practices much lower standard like in Korea. So there's a lower standard of environmental standard implemented in Indonesia compared to the Korea. So therefore, that we need like transnational cooperation must have the same environmental standard operated both in domestic and overseas operations. In conclusion, both countries are in the same trajectory, still depend on coal as a source of energy. But with Korea is much advanced in electronic vehicle technology and nuclear power plant and also emission trading. Reform are needed for the current market structure both in Korea and Indonesia. Current electricity market design does not help to achieve objective to decarbonization and energy production. Transformations in Indonesia is new, and what we can learn from Korea legislation is to include the just transition provision in domestic legislation, which is currently missing in Indonesia domestic law. So this is our picture. We visit some of the stakeholder, Yonsei University, Seoul National University, School of Law, WWF, National Human Rights Commission of Korea, Global Green Growth International, GGGI, and Solution for Our Climate. We could not have an interview with the environmental agency because it is in Sejong, it is far away, and mostly like the government, they cannot speak English, so they speak Korean, so there's a translation for that. So we sometimes we have a difficulty in like English. Probably that's all for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lane. It's very interesting. And also remember that when we visited Yonsei, I highlight about the most difference between Indonesia and Korea is that Korea has the technology, but Indonesia we have the resource. Yes, and also I still remember Prof. Taeyong mentioned about your government must be rational talking about carbonization. And now we will move to Professor Taeyong to present his presentation. And Professor Taeyong is from Graduate School of International Studies of Yonsei University. And currently, he's the Director of Sustainable Development Program in Ban Ki-moon Foundation. He educated from Seoul National University and also Rutgers University, United States. So, Professor, this time is yours. Please.
First of all, thank you for inviting me to this interesting seminar on decarbonization issue. And I'm happy to meet all of you again. Last time in Korea, this time in Jakarta. Well, First of all, I'm not the lawyer and I have no legal background. I have economics background. So the topic is about this decarbonization, green transition, just the transitions and legal framework. But that's important. But based on my personal experience, I think whatever we are doing, the provision of law, act, and so on, that should be the science and evidence-based. And science and evidence-based inevitably include some numbers. So even if this seminar is dealing with much upper level of decision-making process without law and legal framework, and we cannot move on. Yeah, so that's very important. But to build up law and act and so on, you're gonna base on what? The difference. I like green. So let's go to green. No, it doesn't work. So I think we should be very much based on solid evidence. And that evidence should be science-based. So that's a very core, criteria of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal. Policy and science intervention, and your policy should be science-based. And that policy should be umbrella by your legal framework. So I think that's the structure that I want to highlight before I start. And I'm a professor at the Yonsei, but at the same time, I hold a couple of other titles. And one of them is I'm the director of Sustainable Development Program of Ban Ki-moon Foundation. So I've been working with him for SDG from the very beginning, 2010. From that time, still I'm working with him. And I spent too much of my time until last year for IPCC work. And IPCC, I was a coordinating lead also for climate investment and finance chapter. And it took a lot of my time. But anyway, I finished that one. And you mentioned you visited our WWF Korea office. I'm the board member.
Okay.
And you visit our GDPI. I'm the founding deputy of the GDPI. And so I'm still working on our government as a member of our presidential committee on carbon neutrality and green growth. And so we are the one who decides 40% on the power sector X%, industry Y%, something. We have had we have a lot of meetings how to update our NDC plan. That should be done by this year. And as I mentioned, I think that is based on our legal framework, our Carbon Neutrality and Green Growth Act. Based on that, our committee and our function is working. So legal framework is very much important to implement. And so on. And I do a lot, but 15 years ago, when our president Lee Myung-bak, for the first time, he set up the green growth idea, presidential committee on green growth. Over there, we provide the legal framework. I think your current president, who did the similar work, what our president Lee Myung-bak did 15 years ago. I think it's a start, and it's a really long journey. So I think we should be patient. We cannot really achieve something within a year or something. So I think he mentioned that on this 14th February, you're going to make a big decision for your next future leader. I think that is very important. I think I don't know who, but he will understand this long journey to green so that continuing this effort. I think that's a lesson that I want to share with you. And the others, I think next slide, I think the others, today I'm gonna update a little bit, and then the second part is the one that I'm working on, but I spent very little time on that one, and then just the transition issue I want to highlight. Okay, the first, yeah, next one. Like I said, yeah, next. Our NDC target was announced by our previous government, yeah, President Moon. And the good thing is this one: our government has been changed. The opposite party got the power. So 2 years ago, the current president Yoon, he got the power, but our declaration of 40% reduction. It was really big challenge for Korea. Yeah. So the current president, current government has a lot many discussion whether we're gonna follow this previous government target or not. So if we say 40% too much, so let's say 30% something, then we probably Korea will lose our international how can I say, credibility, trust, or something. So even if the previous government, even if he is the opposite of my government, the current president Yoon and his administration, okay, let's do it. Let's continue to keep this target. That's, I think, an important lesson. But inside, okay, then X% from our sector or Y% from industrial sector, that could be adjustable because the conditions, our internal conditions, social conditions are changing. But the overall target, 40% by 2030, and by 2050, we're going to reach to carbon neutrality. That long-term target is still there. I think that's the point that I want to see, February 2015, after you elect the new president, whether your government, I know your current president, Joko is one of the green guy in the global community, yeah? In G20, in UN, wherever he go, I'm green, and so on. But let's see whether, your new government will continue or not. Because 2 years ago, we had the same problem. Okay, the government changed, and our new leader will continue or not. So I'll see, what's going to happen in your country after mid-February. Anyway, I think that something that I want to say based on our experience. I'm not going to talk about the details. Yeah, that's there. Okay, next one. So we do this one and we continue. And as I said, we are very much in trouble or struggling and heavy debate among our community members and stakeholders how to keep 40% cut by 2030. Yeah. And declaration, I'm going to do it. That's easy to say. But to implement it, it's terribly difficult. Okay. You mentioned some of the Korean NGOs and they claim that Korea is too slow, but in my opinion, they're too much bias. They're too much politically biased. At the beginning, I told you evidence-based, right? So last November, I went to COP, Dubai for the COP climate convention. Before I go there, you probably know that, and I'm sure that you guys will take a look. Every year, UNEP, yeah, they release the report, so-called gap report. I don't know you guys. Gap is the gap between the 195 countries declaration. Okay, I'm going to do NDC. Okay, I'm going to reach to something. That's a political just announcement. Okay, and UNEP every year, they collect this 195 countries' performance, okay? Then they compare their target versus actual emission. And actually, that's a gap, okay? So every year, they release a report, so-called gap report. Yeah. 2022, yeah. 2022, the global CO2 emission, right, is increasing or decreasing. That was very, very important to me, because as a economists who are doing this one, with the global community, we're going to increase as a whole. It doesn't matter Indonesia, US, Korea, also. Globally, we increase the CO2 or not? That was a big question, yeah, for me. Why? Because in 2021, everybody wear the mask and everybody stopped their human activity. I couldn't come to Jakarta, yeah. So human activity stopped because of COVID-19. That means human activity stopped and CO2 emission decreased because there is no international the travel. The economic activity was shrinking, so we demand less energy. As a result, the CO2 emission was decreasing. But the 2022, more or less in most of the country, our human activity was normalized again. Yeah. So from that time, I travel here and there. So I was very curious whether we really increase the CO2 or not. Result was very much disappointing. Global CO2 emission was increased 1.2% compared to 2021 level. That's our global performance. Yeah. But individual country keep saying that I'm going to cut 40%, 50%. We have only 60 years back. Okay. By 2030, the 40% cut is a big challenge for Korea. Yeah. Obviously, we do our best to make. So I see the Korea's performance, 5% cut. Globally, it's increasing, but Korea only decreasing 3.5. Japan decreased. US increased. I'm sure Indonesia, I didn't check. Indonesia increasing probably. Yeah. Then you're gonna say, okay, by 2030, we're gonna do something, we're gonna do 25, 26. So I think, that's evidence that I'm talking about. Yeah, we're gonna easy to say something, but our performance is different. And we have to figure out why it's different. And then we can find some solution. Then that should be somehow incorporated into your bigger framework and so on. That process I'm talking about. Next one. So that, yeah, this is our GHG target, and yeah, next one. And to do so, I got the very ambitious long-term project. I had a 7-year research project from our Ministry of Environment. That project is 7 years. Yeah. And for 7 years, I'm going to do the global CO2 emission related economy modeling. Yeah, global model, not only Korea. Yeah, so that's something that I'm doing for IPCC next lab. Yeah. So Korea provide, look, this is Korea's profile, this is Indonesia's profile, this is the US and so on. So I'm working on that one. And this is very plenary vision, okay? But next one. Yeah, this is Korea's something, but next one. Yeah, so this is economy model, yeah, global computable general equilibrium model. I'm not going to explain the details, okay? Economics, I'm sure that the lawyers, they don't like numbers, so I am not going to tell it. But anyway, I think that this is something to modeling the economic activities and so on. Yeah, thanks. And some complicate the equations over there, but still. Next. I think our objective functions, but yeah, okay, let's move on, yeah. Yeah, but I think the country things, next. Yeah, over there, I cannot do 190 countries, okay, so some groups have to make as a group, yeah. But Korea, obviously, I'm doing for Korea, so I separate Korea, and your country, I think your country belongs to Southeast Asia, okay, and over there, most of the ASEAN countries there. And since Vietnam is so important to Korea, I separate Vietnam. Yeah, last year. Indonesia, terribly important to Korea. As you said, plus so many other reasons. I think from the economist point of view, Indonesia, Korea, why two countries are strategically so important? Because two countries are complementary each other. As you said, you have resources, yeah, natural resources. We have technology, yeah, and we have well, our population is keep decreasing, but your population is keep increasing. That means Indonesian market is big market to Korea, right? So there are a lot many complementary from the economic structure point of view. So Indonesia is so important, but for me, I couldn't find the appropriate partner yet. So I couldn't find a partner. So I cannot separate Indonesia yet. Because I don't know Indonesia. I don't have Indonesian data and so on. So Vietnam I did, Uzbekistan I did, and hopefully you know this year I could separate Indonesia if I could find a good partner. That's why this afternoon I go to another, I don't know, University of Indonesia. And we go there and look for some possibility. Because I hate reading this legal article number 5, article number 6, something. That one I don't like. I like numbers. Okay, so I do some economic exercise. Okay, so that's the model that I am doing now, and obviously OECD country and South Asian country and so on. Yeah, so this is our model structure, the regional breakdown. Yeah, then next, and obviously then we're gonna have some scenarios. Okay, business as usual. Korea meet the NDC target. Korea is moving fast or slow and so on. Yeah, then I can set up such kind of target. Yeah, go on. Then you mentioned, I think that's very important point when I listen to her presentation, carbon price. Yeah, without carbon price, there's no reason to cut CO2. Yeah, so whether you're gonna impose a carbon price, yeah, by allowing emission trading, or government to easily impose a so-called carbon tax, yeah, then make the fossil fuels carbon expensive so that people use less. Then as a result, the CO2 is decreasing. That's the mechanism. So the carbon price is a key issue. So it's not me. I think OECD, IEA, they put the different carbon price for the different reason, because each country they're gonna put in higher carbon price. Developing region they're gonna put less carbon price and so on. What's the result for that one? So that's something important assumption for our modeling. So I use that one. Then next, then I can show some our CO2 changes without carbon, or something some more aggressive carbon price, what happened to Korea and so on. Next, this is the Korean case. Okay, based on that, I can show you this kind of trajectory, and that leads to our NDC target or not. Okay, so yeah, next, yeah, go on. Yeah, keep going. I can do many things, yeah. But yeah, one thing that I want, two things that I want to highlight today's topic about is just the transition. Environmentally, cut the CO2, that's great, that's good, yeah. But in the long run, that's good. But in the short run, that really bring some investment inflow domestically or internationally to Indonesia market or not, that's a different issue. Okay, so whether you're gonna do the green transition, but your government, okay, by doing so, the Korea, Japan, Europe, America, China, they're gonna invest their money to Indonesia or not. That's another issue that the government officer has to think about. Not only just to cut the CO2 is not the issue. That's my point, okay? So the green decarbonization, whether some industry get the benefit or some industry should bear more cost, I think that should be analyzed. That's my point, okay? Green, yeah, let's go to solar. That's not the story. That's not the decision, okay? So look at this. I think some industries, they increase the investment in production. Some industries minus. Yeah, so that should be systematically analyzed before you make a decision. Next one. Next one. Yeah. I think this is something that I want to, especially when we talk about the just transition. Okay, probably government officers or top decision maker, oh, that's good. But what about then employment? Okay, especially in general, the people working at the brown industries, fossil fuel areas, they are more vulnerable. They are less educated. They have less skill and so on. So if you change your industrial hold back, okay, so let's move to green, solar. And what about the people working in the brown industries? If government cannot handle that issue, I don't think they're gonna move to. Why? Because they are the voting power. Yeah. If I lose my job, how can I support the Jokowi? He claimed green. It's his business. My business is my job. But by doing so, if I lose my job, I'm going to support for him? I don't think so. So the just the transition issue is very much politically, economically, socially, very much a sensitive issue. So I think just the transition is not just the green environmental issue. So employment issue, by doing so, whether unemployed, the skilled labor or unskilled labor, whether that is good or bad, or we're going to create more jobs for skilled labor or not, I think such kind of analysis should be done, and that evidence should be provided, so that the decision maker, policy maker, political leaders, government, or industry peoples, business leaders, they can make a decision. Okay, I'm going to shut down coal-fired power plant, or I'm going to shut down coal mining area. What about the peoples working over there? You're going to transfer them to the solar industry? Usually not, based on our analysis, because labor, skilled labor, unskilled labor, civil workers or engineers, they're different. So I think that should be done before you suggest something for the just transition. I think that's something that I want to have. Okay, I think, yeah, next. Yeah, so in our model, we can do this skilled, unskilled, and so on and so forth. Yeah. We can do some analysis. Next. So my findings, I think, basically are the result of our economy modeling. But the 3 days ago, I had the June seminar with the AIT, Asian Development Bank, German expert, and me. Topic was just the transitions. And we do the same issues. Okay, just transition, very good. Justice, okay, socially fair, good, and so on. How to implement is really, really big challenge. And that challenge is depending on country situation. Yeah, national conditions. For example, the Korea for the sustainability, the Koreans' sustainability issue, It's not CO2 issue. Korea, our country, the sustainability, we keep losing Koreans. Our young couples, they don't get married. And once they get married, they don't, deliver babies. So our population is keep decreasing. Then we are the first country in the world to disappear. Yeah. Then what's the point of CO2 emissions and so on? So for us, sustainability is really social issue. Yeah. Your country is different. Your country, the population is keep increasing, right?
Yes, we keep.
Yeah, so my point is when we say the sustainability was some long-term issues, national conditions are different. Yeah. So that's something that we have to consider. Yeah, social, national condition, economic conditions and social condition and the political visions, those are all important factors to review before you design the law, what legal framework and so on. Especially, in my opinion, justice transition is really, really complex issue. It's not the economic issue. It's a social issue. It's a political issue. So it's very much a complex issue. And I cannot say, look, this is a solution of Korea. It doesn't mean that we can apply that solution to Indonesia because the conditions are all different. So anyway, I think I talked too much, sorry, but my point is this one. I think whatever you are doing, I think your suggestion as a think tank or the research groups and so on, your suggestion, your findings, your conclusion, your recommendation should be based on science. And that science evidence-based recommendation could be very powerful for decision. We are not decision makers, right? So it helps the decision maker to understand the issue and how to make it. Thank you for your listening, and I'm sorry I talked too much.
Yes, thank you, Professor. That's very interesting. Yes. You can pause for Professor. Yeah, one thing, Professor, Indonesia love big families. So yeah, we keep giving birth.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah, we keep delivering baby because Indonesia love big family. So, yeah, very interesting because green energy. So Indonesia must consider a lot of aspects, including social and political issues. That's very interesting, and also the science-based policy. It's very popular, I think. Next, I give time for Pak Max to present his presentation. So, and after that, we will have Dr. Agus untuk presentasi to present his paper. So, Pak Max is part of BRIN, National Research and Innovation Agency for Economic Research Center, and he will deliver his presentation. It's about the sustainable resilience, just energy transition. Pak Max, the time is yours. 15 minutes, Pak Max.
15 minutes.
No, we can finish.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, I think I really enjoyed the presentation from Professor Taeyong regarding the situation in Korea, and also I would like to congratulate to Malili and the researchers having resolved that very interesting, that will be useful for Indonesia adopting some best practices from Korea. Maybe follow the last comment from Professor Taeyong. This is about social context that maybe need to be considered. So I think when we talk about transitions, I believe that every transition needs loading times, slowing time, because the resource is a shortage, and how we can utilize the resource in very effectively. I remember that in the 80s,
back to the case, right? We have a conflicting in terms of deforestation because still many Indonesians use firewood, yeah, at times, and then we are going also having difficulty in subsidizing kerosene. So this is a kind of difficult situation between firewood already almost like a problem with deforestation, and then we provide a lot of subsidy for kerosene, and then they have impact on state budget. Because Indonesia still have oils, finally we can sustain for about, in my calculation, 25 years. Yeah. We sustain for 25 years in dealing with that difficult situations because we still have oil. But after 2009, 2008, we resigned from OPEC, right? Because we are no more exporting. And then we are thinking, what's next? Because we need to move as soon as possible. And then we move from kerosene to LPG. Right? We move from kerosene to LPG since 2007. Right? Now, 17 years after we introduced LPG, we are worried again because we import a lot of LPGs and then we depend a lot on state budget, on subsidy, and so on. So what we can learn from this? The transition has become very now not longer as we had before. From 25 years, now we need to do transition within 17 years or maybe less. So we are getting shorter and shorter to do transitions. So we need to do it the smart way. Where we are going now, after LPG is quite difficult, yeah, with subsidy and so on. We are going to move to electricity for cooking, just to cook. And then we're going to move to city gas. Yes. But the challenge is, can we sustain for how many years? If we transform to the new form and energy, and it is just stay for 10 years, what's the point of transition? We just making a lot of time, discussion, but it's only 10, sustain for 10 years. Not right. Maybe Vietnam is much better than Korea is much better than us because Korea have nuclear. Right? So you can imagine the power of nuclear powers in Korea is about 95% of Java and electricity productions. So Korea with nuclear power, and then what Indonesia? What will we depend on? Nuclear. Maybe it's not there. It's difficult, still difficult doing nuclear. Right? So maybe the thing we can do is just depend on maybe electricity, but from what source? Hydropowers, solar PV, wind powers, geothermal, or whatever. So, in my opinions, in doing this kind of transition, we'll lack of that kind of what you underline empirical science-based evidence, professors, in doing transition. What energy we are going to focus on. That is missing element. This is to be our responsibility. Brain need to be moved in the first direction, giving the kind of signal to government based on research. This is the source that we need to continue. But until now, sorry to say, we still our policy is still based on PowerPoint, professor. Sorry to say that. But just based on the empirical evidence. Just on PowerPoint enough, and then tomorrow will come regulation on that. Even can you imagine, we're going to pursue DME, dimethyl ethyl, right? To replace LPG. And I'm asking about the research about that one. This is not under research in the proper way. So this is quite, shocking me, right? You say you're going to use DME, but not such a research doing that in a good way. So that's why orang buta membawa orang buta. So that's why in the case of Indonesia, I'm a bit worried in the transition actually. Where are we going? How we can sustain with the increasing oil prices coming soon, and then with not so much resources there. So sorry, maybe I'm too critical, sir, because this is the fact that I need to tell to all of you, right? So what we expect now, actually, we still have a lot of renewable energy, right? We have a lot of water in Kalimantan, in Sulawesi, and so on. So I think let's think how we can optimize the renewables based on the local context that we have. We need to optimize that one. We cannot have one fit for all in doing transition in Indonesia, right? This is impossible. Right? So what we need to do in the case of Indonesia, that is on my title presentation, is how we can have a sustained, resilient, and just transition. What is sustain? Sustain is about lifetime, about the stability and sustainability. So we need to unlock the high dependency on fossil by promoting infrastructures, technology, and changing people behaviors, and bring the right policy on the table, right? The current challenge is we still give a lot of subsidy on fossil fuels. That is also a big challenge. So with that kind of situations, it is quite difficult to promote other resources to replace for oil, right? Because it seems maybe around 100, around 100 something, 100 more than 100 is subsidy on trillions on fossil fuel, right? So it is not sustainable. And then the second one is about I think, Indonesia is doing good in terms of renewable energy, Professor Tayo. Indonesia's share of renewable energy around 90% of our energy in power sector. Korea is around 7%. So we actually better than Korea in terms of the share. So let's optimize the renewable energy that we already have. And then the final ones that maybe I'd like to ask is about the just. What is just transition means? So I think, of course, just transition need to be start from doing more consistent reform on energy subsidy. And then let's thinking on the geographical factors key determinant of transition, because Indonesia is very huge, and many renewable resources, and how we can do transition based on the local resource-based approach. And then another one is about the supply, itself. I think the supply is still actually very low, right? If we compare electricity consumption between Indonesia and Korea, Korea is almost 11 times higher than Indonesia. So we actually still lack of supply, actually, if we see. So that's why maybe industrialization in Indonesia is not move in the fast way, because supply constraint. And also, why is supply? With the lack of supply, of course, the demand also will be relatively low. And then the infrastructures, I think we need to do a lot of investment for power infrastructure, especially in developing smart grid. That also has been mentioned in the report from the Korean case, investment in smart grid, and also maybe another issue in terms of transition in the issue of health. Right? I think health should be also key factors in the transition, especially with respect to women and children. Yes. So some people think that electric stove is much better for women because LPG have methane, and methane impact on women's health is cancer, right? So be careful with cooking with LPG based on methane contact, or maybe health in terms of health issue, electric vehicle. So actually, how we can think the just transition is really reflecting the local context of Indonesia. So last but not least, maybe this is also my other consideration point is the critical conjuncture. Critical conjuncture. So this is maybe part of the research law of research center. And so as the part of critical conjuncture, I think we need kind of what we call institutional formations. So now we are drafting law on renewable energy, right? And now still under the parliament members. I don't know how it will, when it will come. Yeah. And then why not try to give more influence on that law? How this research center can give kind of big push, yeah, from this research in formulation that law. And then what maybe we need as a derivative of that law, for example, from presidential regulation or whatever, what this study can contribute in that area from this research. I think maybe there's a kind of homework, Ibu Leri, for your team. Yeah, please give more kind of what we call concrete recommendations, so that we can this research can really contribute in give more meaningful law for our renewable energy. I think, yeah, I make some presentation here, but after I think this is just my contemplation for all my slides. Yeah. So I think it's better to do it rather than looking on the slides. Yeah. That's all my comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and please give a applause to Pak. Not only blind leading the blind Pak Max, but the lost leading the lost. So we have no idea where we will heading to. Thank you so much. And the last but not least, Bapak Dr. Agus Puji Prasetyono, we will have him to present his paper. It's very interesting. I hope that we will find the new draft of a national energy policy, and I hope that we will find something science-based in this policy. Yeah, so Bapak Agus Puji Prasetyono is the member of the National Energy Council from the academic sector. And he's an alumnus of Gajah Mada University, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. And previously, he served as expert staff to the Minister of Research, Technology and Higher Education for Relevance and Productivity. So, Bapak Agus, the time is yours.
Thank you very much for this event, and appreciate to be here to deliver my new drafts of national energy policy. Apologies, I will deliver in Bahasa.
Yes, it's okay.
It's okay.
Please, yes. I might translate it for Professor Tani. That's no worry. So please.
Yeah.
Bapak Agus, you can turn on the speakers.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Can I deliver from my computer?
Oh.
Ini dia masalah belum? Ada di sana. Hah? Ini. Gimana?
Mau pakai komputer ini?
Pakai komputer ini.
Maaf. Tapi ini udah
masuk.
Iya, ada zoom di situ.
Oh.
Sudah ya berarti.
Dan dikekang.
Yang ini.
Iya.
Oh, ini, yang ini. Ini bagus ini juga.
Apa dari sana?
Ya udah, oke. Oke, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jadi kami dalam rangka transisi energi dan menuju net zero emission itu membuat draft baru tentang National Energy Policy in Indonesia. My new drafts quite different with the previously. Jadi draft yang sekarang ini karena mencantumkan apa yang disebut sebagai NDC, National Determined Contribution, dan juga kita harus menuju net zero emission 2060, maka kita revise semua kebijakan energi, kebijakan nasional dalam bidang energi.
Kamu dibantu.
Iya, ya.
Nanti
Ya, itu ya. Ya. Ya, lanjut. Dewan Energi Nasional itu adalah organisasi yang mandiri, yang ketuanya adalah presiden, dan wakil ketuanya adalah wakil presiden. Tugasnya adalah untuk membuat dan mengawasi pembangunan perkembangan energi di Indonesia. Ada dua jenis ya member. Yang pertama dari government member itu adalah sejumlah menteri, dan yang disebut sebagai stakeholder member itu adalah dari pemangku kepentingan. Pertama saya ada 2 orang dari akademisi, saya dan Pak Musri, terus kemudian ada dari industri itu adalah Pak Satya dan Pak Herman Daniel Ibrahim, kemudian dari konsumen itu ada 2 orang, dan dari teknologi ada 1 orang, Pak Hasnazul Asman, lingkungan hidup 1 orang. Kemudian menteri itu ada 8, ada 7 ya, jadi ada Minister of Finance, Minister of Development Planning, Minister of Transportation, Minister of Industry, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology, dan BRIN. Jadi ini ada 2 di sini, yaitu Menteri Pendidikan, Kebudayaan, dan Teknologi, dan juga BRIN. Kemudian yang terakhir adalah Menteri Lingkungan Hidup dan Kehutanan. Lanjut. Nah, kalau kita melihat, maka sebenarnya kita berada dalam dua dilema ya. Satu sisi kita harus meningkatkan pertumbuhan ekonomi kita menuju keluar dari middle income trap. Kita tahu bahwa tahun 2020 itu kita ada COVID-19, dan tahun 2022 itu kita sudah recovery. Kemudian keluar dari situ nanti kita akan berhadapan dengan new kabinet tahun 2025. Nah, itu Nah, untuk menjadi negara maju yang bisa mengejar sesuai dengan perencanaan kita itu 67% economic growth, itu adalah sekitar 15 gigawatt per years. Jadi harus 3 kali lipat lebih besar. Kalau hanya seperti ini berarti kita hanya akan menjual ya bahan baku alam saja. Jadi nggak bisa kita akan inovasi dan lain sebagainya. Terus kemudian nilai tambah dalam negeri itu juga nggak akan bakalan bisa tumbuh. Nah, jadi harus ada energi yang cukup untuk menggerakkan inovasi sehingga nilai tambah itu terjadi di dalam negeri. Lanjut. Kita memiliki namanya adalah peak emission. Peak emission itu akan terjadi di sekitar tahun 2035 karena kita masih menggunakan coal fire power plant di mana PPA-nya itu terakhir di tahun 2035. Jadi pada saat ini sampai tahun 2035 itu emisi tetap akan meningkat karena banyak yang sudah PPA, banyak yang sudah komit untuk kemudian itu pembangkit harus beroperasi karena sesuai dengan kontrak kerja. Nah, karena itu tahun 2035 nanti akan mengalami peak. Tetapi sejak tahun 2035-2040 itu akan turun emisinya itu karena sudah mulai banyak yang phasing out batubara. Jadi batubara itu sekarang sudah kita moratorium, tidak boleh lagi menambah pembangkit batubara. Pembangkit yang ditambah harus pembangkit yang bersih di moratorium, dan tahun 2040 itu nanti yang sudah selesai PPA itu tidak akan diperpanjang. Karena itulah maka nanti akan turun emisi kita menuju 0 tahun 2060. Kalau masih ada batubara, maka kita harus memakai apa yang disebut sebagai CCS. CCS adalah Carbon Capture and Storage atau Carbon Capture Utility System. Ya, jadi ini nanti akan dipakai untuk menangkap emisi dari batubara tersebut. Lanjut. Nah, kita sudah komit terhadap climate change mitigation. Jadi salah satu diantaranya adalah menandatangani apa yang disebut Paris Agreement. Dalam Paris Agreement tersebut kita telah komited untuk menurunkan. Jadi ada yang disebut enhanced NDC, ya, tahun 2030 kita harus menurunkan emisi kita sebesar 31,89%. Nah, ini tidak main-main, tadinya 29% tapi ditingkatkan agar di tahun-tahun berikutnya persentase energi baru dan terbarukan itu bisa lebih tinggi. Nah, karena itulah maka energi baru dan terbarukan kita genjot sehingga persentasenya jauh lebih besar dari apa yang sudah di state dalam National Energy Policy sebelumnya. Termasuk di COP 26 Glasgow kemarin kita komited terhadap net zero emission tapi bukan tahun 2050 tapi 2060. Lanjut. Nah, energy policy strategi kita itu adalah realizing strong energy security while maintaining security of supply and affordable energy price. Jadi kita mengganti energi yang fosil ke energi non fosil itu kita harus tetap menjaga harga daripada energi dan juga ketahanan energi kita harus dijaga supaya tidak kekurangan energi dan harganya tetap terjamin, supaya pertumbuhan ekonomi tetap terjaga, kehidupan ekonomi tetap berjalan. Jadi kita percuma kalau misalkan energi kita ganti dengan energi yang baru, tapi ekonomi kita akan mengalami kendala. Kemudian kita juga harus memenuhi energi yang rasional. Ya, jadi untuk mencapai Human Development Index, sehingga kita bisa keluar dari middle income trap tahun 2040. ya. Dan jadi 2043 itu kalau kita harus keluar dari middle income trap berarti income per kapita kita itu akan menjadi sekitar 12.000. Di mana sekarang ini baru 4.700-an, jadi akan meningkat sekitar 3 kali lipat. Jadi saya bayangkan kalau misalkan konsumsi energi kita pada saat ini itu sekitar 100, kemudian income per kapita itu sekitar 4.000, maka kalau 4.000 dinaikkan menjadi 12.000 berarti 3 kali lipat. Pembangkit kita juga harus kita naikkan 3 kali lipat supaya bisa menyuplai industri sehingga menghasilkan income per kapita yang tinggi. Kemudian kita juga harus realisasi decarbonization dan energy transition to achieve peak emission before 2045 ya. Dan net zero emission tahun 2060 atau solar. Lanjut. Nah, inilah yang disebut sebagai energy transition roadmap. Jadi kalau tadi disebut Pak Max bahwa kita jauh dari NPP, kalau kebijakan energi nasional sebelumnya itu bahwa nuclear power itu adalah pilihan terakhir, sekarang nuclear power itu kita jadikan pilihan potensial. Tahun 2032 kita masuk untuk starting operation 250 MW. Jadi kalau kita hitung dari sekarang hanya 8 tahun, ini kalau kita tunjukkan roadmap ini kepada negara-negara lain maka kayaknya ambisius, tapi kalau kita tidak masuk nuclear power, maka kekurangan energi tersebut tidak akan bisa dipenuhi. Jadi kalkulasinya adalah pada tahun 2060 itu kita kira-kira energi kita dari sumber energi natural energy resources itu hanya sekitar berapa ya? 1.390 terawatt hours, tapi kita butuh 2.600 terawatt hours. Jadi memang kita kekurangan energi yang banyak, sehingga harus ada energi baru yang masuk. Di antaranya itu nanti akan ada hidrogen, akan ada amonia, akan ada fuel cell, terus kemudian juga nuklir. Jadi nuklir itu sejak tahun 2032 nanti akan meningkat terus kapasitasnya. Tahun 2040 itu sekitar 8 gigawatt karena sudah mulai phasing out batubara. Kemudian tahun 2030-an ya, tahun 50-an itu sekitar 21 sampai 30 gigawatt dan tahun 2050 itu 2060-an ya, itu 45 sampai 54 gigawatt. Lanjut. Ini adalah limited energy resources di Indonesia. Jadi kalau kita bicara oil itu sebenarnya kalau tidak ada penemuan baru kita hanya tinggal 9 tahun lagi. Gas itu sekitar 17 tahun. Coal itu 59 tahun. Rasanya kita banyak tapi banyak kita ekspor juga. Jadi memang hanya tinggal sekitar 60 tahun coal itu bisa kita manfaatkan. Kalau kita lihat energi baru dan terbarukan, new and renewable energy, maka solar itu banyak. Hanya saja solar itu 1 mega itu sekitar 1 hektar modul. Nah ini juga tidak main-main kalau kita ingin 1 giga itu berarti 1.000 hektar. Jadi kalau di Cirata itu ada sekitar 100 mega itu ya berarti 100 hektar tebaran modulnya. Maka biodiversity dan lain-lain itu harus kita perhitungkan juga di bawahnya. Kemudian hydro itu potensi kita 95 gigawatt, tapi tidak mungkin akan bisa kita manfaatkan penuh karena terkait dengan geografi. Bioenergi juga demikian, itu juga tidak bisa kita manfaatkan secara optimal karena terkait dengan kendala luasan lahan, kemudian ya macam-macam ya, jadi terutama di lahan memang. Kemudian wind juga demikian, geothermal, kemudian arus laut, energi laut ya itu juga banyak tapi belum kita manfaatkan karena keekonomiannya belum masuk. Yang menarik adalah thorium. Thorium itu bahan untuk PLTN, nuklir, dan uranium. Ini kita memiliki resources yang banyak dan sekarang sudah dieksplorasi oleh Amerika kalau tidak salah di Kayan, Kalimantan Barat. Lanjut. Nah, apa yang terjadi dalam revise dari draft National Energy Policy kita itu, kalau sebelumnya itu adalah nuklir is the last option, maka sekarang nuklir itu PLTN sebagai penyeimbang, ya. Jadi use the new energy nuklir misalnya ya to balance energy to decarbonization target, ya. Jadi memang kita tidak bisa tidak untuk masuk ke PLTN. Lanjut. Ini adalah modeling yang kita buat dengan ITB, ya, tentang electricity consumption projection. Jadi kita ini mengharapkan tahun 2040 itu ya, kita electricity consumption per kapita itu menjadi 4.000. Jadi kalau 4.290 ya, sekarang ini posisi kita itu electric consumption kita itu baru 1.000, berarti 4 kali lipat. Jadi tahun 2040 itu memang kita sudah akan keluar dari middle income trap karena konsumsi kita itu 4.000. Nah, kalau konsumsi kita itu 4.000, maka ini tidak main-main, berarti harus ada industri yang harus menyerap listrik sebanyak 4.000 kWh per kapita ini. Ya, jadi harus balance antara industri dan energi supply-nya. Nah, kemudian kita naik terus sampai tahun 2060 itu sekitar 7.000 kWh per kapita. Nah, kalau sudah 7.000 ini, maka kita sudah sekitar 8 besar dunia itu. Impian kita memang mulu-mulu di sini, tapi kalau memang kita bisa melaksanakannya, nah itu akan tercapai. Tapi kalau tidak, ya kita akan begini saja, dan terus kemudian kita keluar, nengok kiri kanan lah, kok sudah majunya bukan main. Jadi nanti kita akan terkaget-kaget. Ya, jadi harapan kami ini bisa dipenuhi dengan kolaborasi komprehensif antara berbagai pihak. Maka saya ingin agar kita betul-betul memahami ini, bahwa kita tidak bisa berdiam diri pada suatu saat seperti sekarang ini, ya, tapi kita harus maju berkembang, terutama supply energi kita harus kita tingkatkan, dan juga industri kita harus mampu menyerap energi yang dibangkitkan tersebut. Tanpa itu, maka negara Indonesia tidak akan bisa maju. Jadi electric consumption tahun 2060 itu sekitar 2.000 sampai 2.300. Kemudian electricity consumption per kapita itu sekitar 5.700 sampai 7.000 kWh per kapita. Lanjut. Nah, kalau kita lihat roadmap-nya, maka skenario rendah itu kita lihat, ini sengaja saya kasih bintang begini karena supaya tahu bahwa kita ini akan masuk era baru nuklir. Jadi tahun 2045 itu akan ada 28 gigawatt, dan tahun 2000 itu skenario rendahnya, ya. Terus kemudian skenario tinggi itu 35,8 gigawatt, sedangkan tahun 2060 itu akan ada 74 gigawatt, skenario tingginya adalah 63 gigawatt. Beda dengan yang tadi karena ini termasuk PLTN untuk pemakaian langsung. Jadi nanti PLTN itu bisa dibuat untuk membuat hidrogen dan membuat desalinasi air laut, terus kemudian membuat garam dan lain sebagainya. Itu akan sangat bersih sekali kalau memakai PLTN. Tapi sementara itu coal, oil, and gas itu tetap kita pakai karena ada banyak equipment yang harus menggunakan ini. Kalau tidak digunakan, maka output industri itu tidak akan optimal. Lanjut. Nah, ini adalah policy directions for utilization of NPP in the draft National Energy Policy, bahwa the first nuclear power plants itu kita rencanakan di tahun 2032 on grid. SMR itu adalah small modular reactor 250 MW, ya. Terus kemudian In order to prepare the above, maka government sedang merevisi ya regulasi dan seterusnya. Jadi ini nanti bisa kita bahas. Tapi untuk nuclear power plant ini juga bisa kita gunakan untuk repowering. Repowering itu adalah mengganti tungku yang dipakai di PLTU untuk diganti dengan SMR. Lanjut. Ada yang beberapa yang harus kita penuhi, sekarang ini belum ya. Itu adalah manajemen, kemudian stakeholder involvement, dan juga national position. Ini adalah INIRMISSION, yaitu Nuclear Infrastructure Review yang dilakukan oleh IAEA terhadap Indonesia. Jadi kalau kita mau membangun nuklir ini diawasi oleh organisasi dunia ini yang harus dipenuhi dan harus ada di Indonesia 19 rekomendasi yang harus dipenuhi. Tapi 3 diantaranya belum, dan itu sekarang kita sedang usahakan. Lanjut. Nah, konklusinya adalah seperti ini. Jadi kalau kita lihat ya, nuclear power plant itu diperlukan, terus kemudian akan masuk di 2032 itu 250 MW dan seterusnya, tapi membutuhkan banyak aspek, yaitu RPJMN juga harus sesuai, kemudian RT/RW juga harus buat yang sesuai dengan ini nuclear power, kemudian rencana umum energi daerah, RPJMD dan lain sebagainya itu juga harus dapat dipenuhi. Saya kira demikian. Selanjutnya kita masuk pada diskusi. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Bagus. Yeah, now we move to discuss, do you still have time? Or maybe just one?
Pak Jenuk, apologi saya
Yes.
harus
Oh,
pergi dulu.
okay,
Tapi silahkan teruskan.
Okay, terima kasih, Pak. Yeah, maybe we have one or two questions from the audience, or from the audience in this room, or maybe from the Zoom room. Just one or two. Anyone? Or we just like seeing each other for 5 minutes? Okay, yes, Valerie.
Thank you for all panelists, presenter for very valuable and very valuable insight for our team. Actually, next we also like questioning what would do next for energy transition, energy choices. Like we interview some of the industries and they say coal is the cheapest and very like the most feasible option for them for energy and electricity. And now the government like they want something else, like whether we want to have like biofuel, does it like will shifting from environmental disaster to other environmental disaster, like for example nickel mining is actually we have implication for environmental damage in some other area for nickel mining. So our problem is, can we have like this renewable energy, whether it is solar or whether other option that is more like guarantee all the energy security, like energy, the cheap, not cheap, sustainable price, and then security, like whether it is like Max, it is in the long term, not in very short term, and then whether it is guarantee the environmental sustainability. So how we balance of these 3 energy dilemma Yeah, still Indonesia, I think, yeah, we have a lot of challenge to balance all these three energy dilemma in Indonesia. And now we I would say we move to the nuclear power in the next phase. But when we interview some of our stakeholder in Korea, say that nuclear actually is not really renewable energy. So
Doesn't matter, renewable or not, CO2 free, yeah.
okay.
So depending on your objective, why nuclear?
Yeah.
Why renewable? Yeah. Your objective is cut CO2, then you have to consider all. But nuclear, or wait a minute, waste issue and safety issue, environmental issue,
Stable.
yeah, there or no, then no nuclear. I think depending on your objective. I think, you know, if obviously CO2 cut, CO2 emission reduction, then nuclear should be considered because it's CO2 free. But no waste issue, environmental issue. What about Fukushima in Japan? Then that's a different issue. So I think as Sema, you mentioned,
Yeah.
it's very key topic in Korea. We are very strong push to develop the SMR because you know, many of the issues can be solved. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when I listen to you know, your presentation, the Indonesian presentation, I really agree with the Max that, you know, you guys are following what's going on in Europe, what's going on in Japan, what's going on in Korea, US. What they are moving to, you know, they are moving to SMR and so on. We have resources, every kind of resources: coal, oil, natural gas, retail, and you know, so on. But in one hand, we are very busy to catch up smart options and so on. Wow, electricities, yeah, and you have to double some. But as he said, you try to find the option. But the other countries and technologies are far more advanced. So I fully agree with you that the transition time is getting shorter and shorter. So whether you have resources or not is the issue, is not the issue. I think whether you're gonna quickly catch up or you're gonna really advance rather than follow is the issue. Then I think my understanding based on this, you know, presentations and so on, too slow. If I, you know, follow your argument, the argument, and I fully agree with you. Same dilemma in Korea. We do something, but the other technology is already developing and implementing. Then this investment and this R&D, this resource allocation, it's you know, meaningless. So I think the dilemma is really there. So your decision makers, they should have some strategy. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but we also have very fancy, nice roadmap, and every 2 years we update. I don't believe. Yeah, I'm the member who developed this one, but I don't believe. Why? Because, you know, the technology and business are much faster than government plan or, you know, researchers talk. So, you know, the real decision is the strategy, whether, you know, okay, we're going to go to this direction and we just quickly move. Then legal provisions, yeah, legal framework is ready for follow-up. Usually legal, very slow. Yes, I don't know your country, but our country, very slow. So I think that's the dilemma and that's the decision that I think you guys have to take. And I learned a lot from him today, actually, that transition, whatever transition, that's the, you know, green transition, just the transition, digital transition, you know, whatever transition, the transition time is getting shorter and shorter I think that observation is really, really important for decision maker to think about. I think, I use that wording in my next.
If I have a question for you, Professor.
Yeah.
I think if you look in the case of Korea,
Yeah.
Korea is very advanced. They have a lot of big private company, LG, Ascom, Samsung, Hanwha, and many vegetables company. And it seems that they are drive transition, right? With electric vehicles and so on. Actually, how do you see the role of private sector actually in pushing out the transition? How good they are and how they fast compared with very strong regulations and so on, more very low society and so on. How actually the role of private sector do you see in doing transition in Korea?
First of all, I think Korean business peoples, they are much more clever and smarter than government officers. You know why? They keep saying that, look, we have to go to, global market, that we need the tax cut, we don't have money for R&D and something, do they ask government to give more money and blah, blah. And we have to change the law and something. They know everything. Yeah. But they basically ask government to provide the condition. But actually they are the drivers. They are the one who actually ask the decision makers to change. But actually they have everything. Yeah? But I have money, but government will give me R&D money. Why should I put my money over there? Yeah. Instead, asking government, for example, CCS, okay, we are doing a lot. And POSCO and LG, they are doing CCS a lot. They use their money? No. They ask the government, look, it costs a lot and R&D and blah, blah. They ask $100 billion. Yeah, for government. So I think they are the real right. I fully agree. Yeah. The Korean private sectors, they are much clever. And they need something that, US is doing something, Japan is doing something. I need your support. Tax cut, subsidy, R&D support. Yeah. Then they are actually busy in developing green technology, new technology. They are green, they are environmentally concerning. I don't think so. I don't think LG, Samsung, whatever, they are worried about the global warming, climate change. I don't think so. I talked with them. They need the money. They want to make the business, and they want to make the money. But that business should be green. And 10 years ago, 20 years ago, Samsung, get the money. Okay, that's my money. But now they understand, oh no, wait a minute, I cannot do that. I have to share that on with the community. I have to give some money to Indonesia. Well, to keep my business, to keep my market. So the private sector is not environmentally driven animals, but they are getting greener and greener. And I think that the legal, the provisions, okay, the legal framework in Korea is pressure for them to move green. So our community should give the pressure to private sector to go to green. Yeah. Legally, formally, informally, and whatever. Yeah. So that they are the ones who actually make the technology, new devices, and create the market. So I fully agree with you. But they don't green. They are not green. They pretend to be green to maintain, to extend their market. That's the nature of private business.
Yes.
Why private should be green? Private should make the money.
Yes.
But make the green is the public sectors and civil society and social pressure. I think then they have no choice.
Yes,
but
that's
for-
correct. We call it greenwashing.
Yeah, not greenwashing, that's different issue.
Oh,
Yeah, what I'm saying is, by nature, private sector is motivated by making money. But the next issue is, it's not greenwashing issue, okay? I'm not green, but I pretend to green, that's greenwashing, but Samsung should make the money by selling this, smartphone. We don't have to bother that. They make the money, but what I'm saying is the next round, after they make the money, how they gonna use this money? For own, for their own workers? No, I think for the community, for the society, to make the society green. I think that second round, the issue should be done by the community or national pressure from many stakeholders. Especially, I think the legal framework and watchdogs of NGOs and, such kind of pressure should be very important factor in my opinion.
So that's better, right? Professor Korea. The social pressure, public pressure is.
Yeah, we call ESG, I don't know, you heard about the ESG,
Yeah.
environmental, social and the governance issue. Well, they are more concerning about the ESG issue and nowadays not E, S. Social,
ah,
yeah, S is more important and S is a part of this energy just transition. Right? Why we talk about the justice? That's a social issue. So we have to give the pressure to the big company. Look, you make the money, but you have to return back your money to society. And part of that resources can be used for energy, just energy transition, or for the vulnerable people's other environmental issues, and so on. I think so. You have to get some money from the companies. That's something that we have to do. I think Korea also we are moving.
thank you so much, Professor. We have to cut because
Yeah.
we
Okay.
already running time. So thankful for the speakers, and I would like to express my appreciation to all the speakers and also to the attendee. My deepest gratitude to all who attend and colleagues who involved in this seminar. Thank you so much. But before that, before we end this seminar, we will have a picture together and also
Token of appreciation and future commitment together.
thank you so much, everyone. And please give applause to all the speakers. And have a nice day. Next,
Professor, thanks a lot. I totally. Could you do me a favor? If you could, the slides are all excellent. So can I get the city, yeah, including yours? Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow. Wow.
Okay.
Slide-nya boleh kita ya. Itu udah bisa apa ya Pak?
Thank you.
Balik ke kantor bagus.
Thank you. I'll put it in my office. Thank you.
Tapi kalau tidak pakai note ini, oh iya Pak, susah dulu itu Pak. Deadline-nya kita ketemu dari mana pun.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah.
Hey, Mbak Nelly.
Terima kasih.
Moderatornya dapat ya? Teman saya, Pamek atau Cenuk nih? Ini.
Baca nu aja, saya udah ada. Saya di rumah banyak baca nu.
Iya, artinya Cenuk bawaannya jadi banyak. Foto bersama ya.
Oke, ready, one, two. Dulu semuanya. Oke, 1, 2, 3. Oke, one more, 1, 2, 3. Oke, next style action.
Next time apa itu?
Style 1, 2, 3. Online. Ayo.
Siapa nih Adil? Rehan.
Udah ya semuanya yang di sini lah.
Adil.
Ayo mari.
Pak siapa bahasa nasi?
Yang mau kuliah di Korea ini pulang.
Yang mau kuliah di Korea. Loh ini loh. Pak, Oli Pak. Sini. Ini yang baru nih. Oh anggotanya berapa?
Oke, 1, 2, 3. Oke, next time, I think that's I love about the. Thank you.
Ada masalah apa?